I remember the sanctions that were imposed upon Niger, and I remember all the three leaders, Traoré in Burkina, and I remember the new leaders in Niger. I remember the leaders in Mali saying, we are now entering into a military pact. You attack Niger, you have attacked Mali, you attack Burkina, you have attacked Mali, and you have attacked Niger, and of course, even Dumbuya in Guinea-Conakry said, we will join you. That is a new face. It is a face that was not contemplated, and the Sahelian revolution, because it's a revolution, is beginning to redefine how former French colonies are relating with France at the critical levels, including the area of trade, including control of their militaries, including control of their language. And it is not lost on me that in Mali, they have actually declared that French is no longer the national language. Bambara is now the national language. It is a clear statement that they are beginning to regain their independence, and they are doing it in a manner that was not anticipated and in a manner that was not contemplated.
As I'm doing this video, I'm very happy because the video I'm going to do is amazing. Amazing. Simply because PLO Lumumba, this is a Pan-African. He has a Pan-African spirit. He has spoken about Sahel region. He has spoken about the three countries, the three military captains from Sahel. This is Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Mali, the president of Niger, and he has spoke about Guinea, Bissau. He has spoke about these countries that are ditching France to join Sahel or to look for new friends, simply because France has been there for long, and France has had a lot of impact, negative impact to this country from West Africa. We thought we are independent, but with France, these countries has never been independent. Now, you remember the time of Thomas Sankara, when we knew that Burkina Faso is going to work. We knew that we have found a leader, a Pan-Africanist leader who is going to change the face of Africa. And his agendas were perfect. But you know what they did? They used his friends to eliminate him simply because they wanted still to be there to exploit Africa. Now, I don't want to talk more. I don't want to waste your bundles. I want to go direct to the video of PLO Lumumba talking about Ibrahim Traoré, talking about Mali, talking about Sahel region at large. This is a big win for Burkina Faso. This is a big win for Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Watch this video and then we come back later.
These are not coup d'etats. These are revolutions. They are revolutions because it has become obvious that those who are lackeys of France in the Sahelian region were manipulating the electoral process, were using institutions such as the judiciary for purposes of perpetuating the French agenda. And that these young men from the military came out and said, no, when the people cannot do it through traditional revolution, we are going to do it through the barrel of the gun and use the institution of the military to change the equation. And they have changed the equation. How have they changed the equation? First, they are saying we are cutting political ties with Paris. Secondly, we are cutting economic ties with Paris. We are getting out of any organization which is led by France. We are cutting off the situation that compels us to use currency that is printed in France. We are ensuring that our resources are going to be refined, and they are entering into arrangements with a number of countries, including Russia and China, to begin to build institutions and installations that are going to refine their uranium, refine their gold, so that there is value addition. What is happening in the Sahelian region is, in my submission and in the view of many independent commentators, the beginning of the total liberation not only of those countries but the former French colonies. And it is not lost on me that the leaders of those countries are sending a very clear message. They are sending the message that any institution which makes the claim that is a Pan-African institution but is being controlled from outside will be defied. I remember that day, the day after the coup d'etat in Niger, and I remember the meetings that were held in Accra, Ghana, the meetings that were held in Abuja, Nigeria, the meetings that gave a 72-hour ultimatum to Niger and said, we are going to invade you, not in so many words, but we are not going to allow you. I remember the sanctions that were imposed upon Niger. And I remember all the three leaders, Traoré in Burkina, and I remember the new leaders in Niger. I remember the leaders in Mali saying, we are now entering into a military pact. You attack Niger, you have attacked Mali, you attack Burkina, you have attacked Mali, and you've attacked Niger, and of course, even Doumbouya in Guinea-Conakry said, we will join you. That is a new face. It is a face that was not contemplated, and the Sahelian revolution, because it is a revolution, is beginning to redefine how former French colonies are relating with France at the critical levels, including the area of trade, including control of their militaries, including control of their language. And it is not lost on me that in Mali, they have actually declared that French is no longer the national language. Bambara is now the national language. It is a clear statement that they are beginning to regain their independence, and they are doing it in a manner that was not anticipated and in a manner that was not contemplated. It begs the question, will the men in uniform continue to be in power until kingdom come? No. They have said in Burkina, they have said in Niger, they have said in Mali, they have said in Guinea-Conakry, we are midwives. We have come here for a short time to clean up the mess that has been with us. We have come here to clean up the mess that the French have always created. We have come here to ensure that the insurgency, which is sponsored by the French in Burkina Faso, which is sponsored by them in Mali, which is sponsored by them in Niger, which is sponsored by them in Guinea-Conakry, that this insurgency will eliminate it and will introduce a new system of governance which will allow the peoples of our country to participate in their governance without being controlled from Paris. They are saying that we have been puppets for too long. We are now regaining our independence, and this revolution is a revolution which is unique, is a revolution which is being defined and refined by young Africans whose agenda is the spirit of Pan-Africanism. The Sahelian revolution is a revolution which will change the continent of Africa and redefine Africa's relationship with the former colonizers. In order to understand the Sahel, we must go back to the year 1958, when Charles de Gaulle governed France. And when Charles de Gaulle and his administration took the decision that their former colonies would be granted independence, and asked that they vote no or yes. Yes, to mean that you would regain something called independence, but you would remain under France. No, to mean that the French would run away. Only two countries voted no: Algeria under Ahmed Ben Bella and Guinea under Ahmed Sékou Touré. The rest of the countries remained under the tutelage of France and have remained so, controlled politically and economically, including their currency, the CFA franc. So that recently, in the 21st century, when young men in the military took the decision that they would change things, it was something that shocked the French and shocked the world. Shocked the French because they said, we are now gaining our independence. What we had was not independence. And I listened so very keenly to Doumbouya in Guinea-Conakry. I listened very keenly to Aïta in Niger. I listened very keenly to Traoré in Burkina Faso, and their message was clear. There are those who said within ECOWAS that Mali must not, when we talked about Mali at that time, they said Mali must be expelled from ECOWAS. And they came and they warned that they were going to attack Mali, but the Malians said, no, we are going to protect our newly acquired independence. The same message came from Guinea, the same message came from Niger, the same message came from Burkina Faso, and there is now unanimity within the Sahel that the time is now to redefine their relationship with France particularly. Let us understand why that redefinition of relationship is important. It is important at two levels, at the political level and at the economic level. We start with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is a country that was formerly known as Upper Volta. When via coup d'etat, Thomas Isidore Sankara took power in 1983, he said we must rename our country. And he renamed the country Burkina Faso. And he renamed the people the Burkinabe, the country of upright men. And he said that the time has come that we must be totally liberated from France. France has controlled how we conduct our politics. France has controlled what we sell and what we buy. France controls our money. France controls our everything. And he redefined everything. And within 5 years, we now know that Thomas Sankara and Burkina Faso as a country were liberating themselves and were capable of feeding themselves. He said we must take charge of our gold, we must take charge of our uranium. But within 5 years, in 1987, they had induced Blaise Compaoré to assassinate him. And this is always important to remember. When Isidore Sankara was told that you are going to be assassinated and the possible assassin is Blaise Compaoré, he said, Blaise is my friend. If it is Blaise whom they have hired to kill me, then I will not survive. And he did not survive. France controls the Sahel because of our resources. Then, of course, Niger. Niger is a country that is known for her uranium. Niger is a country that is known for our resources, and we know for a fact that even some of the nuclear tests that have been undertaken by the French have been undertaken in the deserts of the Sahel region. We know that that particular area is rich in all manner of resources, and the Nigerians took the decision that we are going to change this. When the coup happened, one of the things that was most frustrating was that a decision was taken that Niger must be treated differently, and people don't understand why ECOWAS reacted in the manner that it did. It was uranium. It was the uranium that is not only used in France, but is used in different parts of the world for nuclear facilities. And Niger sits upon uranium that has value that is inestimable. And the idea to ensure that Niger was ostracized from the ECOWAS community was at the behest of the French. And it is important that the Sahelians have taken the vow that they are going to protect Niger. Outside of Niger, we are also aware that the Malian regime with Assimi Goïta, who is the current president, have taken the decision that they are going to ensure that Mali, even with the sponsored insurgency, is going to remain a country that is independent. And it is not lost on me that Mali is the home of one of the most important freedom fighters in Africa, Modibo Keïta. So the spirit of Modibo Keïta is now resurgent in Assimi Goïta, and we can see that that particular country is also moving in the direction of ensuring that they are liberated from French domination. And once again, we know that Mali is a country that has a long history with Sondiata Keita, with Mansa Musa, and the Niger River flows there and supplies oil. And in the areas such as Timbuktu in northern Mali, we know that there are major resources. The same with Guinea-Conakry, which may not be described as being specifically in the Sahel, but is one of the countries that is supporting the activities that are going on in the Sahel to the extent that they are redefining how Europe, particularly France, relates with Africa. Which begs the question, what is new in Sahel? What is happening in the Sahel that is new? Is it a revival of Pan-African spirit? Is it something that is going to change the complexion of that region and by extension change the complexion of the world? Commentators are now saying that while many are quick to characterize the changes in the Sahel as coup d'etats and therefore against the African Union declaration that Africa will not entertain non-unconstitutional changes of power, Pan-Africanists and those who know how France is operating and has operated say these are not coup d'etats, these are revolutions.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a subscriber here. Thank you for being a Pan-Africanist. Thank you for supporting this channel. I've heard what PLO Lumumba said about the three juntas of Sahel. And I think we have a friend here called from Guinea. And lately we have a friend too from Central Africa. He's showing interest of joining these three juntas. Now, PLO Lumumba has explained a lot. He has said it all. I'm just brushing it off. Why are these countries doing away with France? Why we don't want France anymore in these West countries? As far as we have few positive impact of France on these countries, but we have a numerous of negative impact of France, these countries. It's like they were still colonizing Africa. They did not allow any good leader to be in power. They put their puppets there. Things were just going bad. But here came Ibrahim Traoré, here came Mali, here came Niger. They joined hands together and said, you know what? It is time for us to change. This is new generation. We are young and bold. Our blood is hot. Let's bring back the memories, or let's bring back the agenda of Thomas Sankara. But we cannot do this if France is still here. We need to look for new friends, and that's why they are talking with Russia. That's why they are talking with China, looking for new friends who have the equality, share equality. We give you resources, you give us this. We give you this at percentage. We control our resources. That's what Sahel region is doing. We venture into security. France has caused a lot of insecurity in this region. We need to stabilize security, stabilization in our region. We need political stability. And they said perfectly, get me, they said perfectly, we are not here as our presidents. We are here to make things right, and then we leave the people of our country to choose themselves what they want. They are just midwives. They said it. Ibrahim Traoré said it. I'm here to make things work. And then when they work, we'll have the people of Burkina Faso to choose their leader. Now, and that's a perfect thing, because I know some people in Burkina Faso, they are like, damn it. No, this is not my guy. I need to vote so that I can choose my person who I want. But by doing that, let's make Sahel straight first. And that's why you see a lot of projects there, educational, agriculture, things are going straight. Thomas Sankara was a win for Burkina Faso. He made sure that Burkina Faso can afford their food. Food stability in Burkina Faso was top-notch. But when he was eliminated, things changed. Burkina Faso went into shambles, people crying. But Ibrahim Traoré is here to make things go straight. Now, France invasion or France involvement into West Africa countries has been marked complex or has been marked by complex of often continuous relationships shaped by its colonial legacy, economic interest, and security policies. Now, let's start with colonial exploitation and neo-colonization or neo-colonial influence. During colonial rule, France exploited the natural resources of West Africa countries while providing minimal infrastructure and education for local population. This left the region economically dismantled and dependent to the West because they extracted these resources, but they left minimal infrastructure. Let me take, for example, in our villages area here in Kenya, where we plant a lot of maize. A government will come and buy maize there at cheaper prices, throwaway prices, without even connecting the roads, providing the market. It is, the people will remain to be poor. The people will remain to be poor. And that's what we call exploitation. It's happening up to now. Even the government is exploiting its people. Just the other day, there is this vegetable we call cabbage. Farmers have planted it using expensive manure, so and so. But right now, it was being sold at 20 shillings. Right now, it is being thrown away at 2 bob shillings. People who are in the African diaspora, for people who are in America and you don't know about our currency, I'm trying to say, a product, farmers are planting, these products was going, at, for example, at $1. And now, the government is taking it now at $2. You see that? That is exploitation. And that's what France has been doing for so long in the Sahel region. Another thing that France has been doing in Sahel region is after 1960s, France maintained significant control over the former colonies through political, military, and economic influence. This included supporting dictators and meddling in domestic politics to ensure that their puppets are there in power forever. They have been meddling in local politics. We don't mingle in their politics. We don't choose for them. We Africans, we don't have say on Donald Trump. We don't have say on Macron of France. We can't advise them whom they will vote for. We can't. But they are here in the middle of our politics, supporting the dictators, supporting their puppets. And thus, we don't have that democracy. They will call it democracy. You have democracy to vote your person. But no democracy is there. They know what they do, and they have been here. And that's why this young Ibrahim Traoré and his friends from Mali and Niger are trying to change that, are trying to change the fact that we must have political stabilities. We must have the freedom to choose our own people without international interference. We don't interfere in their issues. We never. I don't know why they do interfere in ours. Another thing is economic dependence. For example, France after leaving the West Africa, most of West African countries like Central Africa, this Burkina Faso, we still have the CFA franc. They're still using the currency that is being supported by France. It's called CFA francs. So this currency is linked to the euro and controlled by France, has limited the economic sovereignty of West Africa. And now we need to do away with that CFC franc. We need to do away with CFA franc. We need to be liberated and to work as we want, use our own currency so that we can increase our economic growth. Resources exploitation, France has been on this. France is behind resources exploitation. France is behind the poverty that is going on in Central Africa. France is behind the poverty and the wars and the chaos that's going on in most of the countries in Central Africa. They destabilize the country. They come with their military. They take the resources. They go. They leave you crying, nothing. And you know what? We got people who have that Pan-African spirit who want to change this to the better. About resource exploitation, you know that they have been here. They have been doing that for long. And now, without any equality, that's why the 3 juntas, they are looking for new friends so that we can do legit business. We are saying legit business, not this business of, we have military intervention. France have been, military bases in West African countries is a lot. operation in Bukinabe. We call operation in Bukinabe. We have Operation Bakane. Operation Bakane, where France launched it as anti-terrorism operation in Sahel in 2014, aiming compact Islamist militia and etc. etc. Moreover, their intervention of military has failed to stabilize the region. Has failed terribly to stabilize the region. It has contributed in civil casualties, and man, nothing has been done since 2014. Nothing has been done that we can say that France military intervention in this country has brought peace to our country. It's too bad. Another thing, it's a lot that France has done negatively to West Africa countries, social and political alienation. For example, we have talked about mingling in political affairs, local political affairs. But let's see, why do you think Sahel is moving away from France? We have this positive or negative impact that France has caused to Sahel. And why has Ibrahim Traoré, why has the Mali president, why has, I think it's Goita, why has the Niger president chosen to move away from France? Or why has Sahel region decided to move away from France? Is 1, desire for sovereignty, 2, failures of French policies, 3, emergency of new partners, 4, pan-Africanism. That's why we are moving away from France. That's why we are moving away from France. When you talk about pan-Africanism, it's the growing of pan-Africanism movement emphasizing the self-reliance and unity, advocating for breaking ties with colonial powers. And that's what I'm doing here, pan-Africanism. That's why we have someone like PLO Lumumba. Ibrahim Traoré has the spirit of pan-Africanism. Young, bold, we know what we want. We want to take back ours, to stabilize our country. The spirit of pan-Africanism, spirit of unity of African countries, unity of black people. When you talk about emergence of new partners, we have new partners like the Wana Group from Russia. We have China. These two countries, or this, let's talk about BRICS, has shown the interest of taking care of Africa, the interest of working with Africa in a very polite manner, in a very equal manner, in a very good way, without exploitation, without creating chaos, without all this military intervention. Emergency of new partners. When you talk about desire for sovereignty, we talk about, for example, countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. They are pushing a greater autonomy in managing their affairs, including security, governance, and the economy. That's why Ibrahim Traoré built this first reserve bank, gold reserve bank. That's why he is engaging himself in agriculture. That's why he's practicing a lot in education, because we want that for sovereignty. We want that freedom of expression as a country where leaders or president of that country, they are not being controlled by some forces from international levels. We want to have a generation that will make sure they are so well equipped in technology, in IT. We want a country where our minds of the country will not be taken away from the country simply because we don't have infrastructure to work here. Russia will give us technology and we will work with them on this issue of resources. China building roads, infrastructure is the key point to success. It's connecting the village and the towns. It's connecting the seller and the buyer. It's connecting the farmer and the market. Very good. We are looking for sovereignty. We are looking for freedom. And that's why we have Ibrahim Traoré, Mali and Niger, Faso, Mali and Niger. We have Central Africa, they are coming. We have Guinea there looking for the prize. The prize is pan-Africanism. The prize is sovereignty. Prize is to be the superpowers. Tell me what you think on the comment section about this video. There's a lot to say, but I don't want to waste. You have watched what PLO Lumumba said. It's amazing, and I'm happy for that. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel. Until next episode, peace be with you.